Australia needed a big show today in Brisbane, and while it may not have come off the bat of their big show, Glenn Maxwell, it did come, and they'd be very, very happy with it. Ireland, of course, had won the toss and put Australia into bat first. And well, guess who's the winner for the prediction game? It's Mr. Joy Bhattacharjya, because he said 174. It's 179 that Australia got on the board. Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. My name is Tanay Tiwari. With me, Simon Doull, Joy Bhattacharjya. 179 for 5, courtesy a very much needed Aaron Finch half century at good pace. Marcus Stoinis, of course, in the form of his life, and good runs for Mitchell Marsh as well. Barry McCarthy was very good with the ball, as was Josh Little, but it was a good show for Australia. Gentlemen, wasn't it? Simon, they needed these runs and they got them on the board.
Yeah, it didn't look easy, that's for sure. I think that's one thing we have to say right at the start. They struggled a little bit, lost a couple of key wickets at times when I thought Mitchell Marsh was just starting to get into his work and got out. Maxwell looked like he might get into his work and got out to not great deliveries, slightly loose-ish shots. But at the end of the day, it's all about that sort of momentum, I guess. Mitch Marsh, 28 off 22. So it's the strike rates that you look at, 35 from 25. For Stoinis, Maxwell's strike rate. So all of those things combine to allow Australia to get through to that very good total. And I think what you'll find is they will bowl well on that particular pitch. There's good pace, there's good bounce, and you imagine that they'll put themselves in a pretty good position to try and up that net run rate a little bit, although I would not be writing Ireland off the way they started against England the other night. If they can get the same sort of start out of their opening batters or their top three, then they're every chance.
Yeah, the bowlers will have their task cut out. But Joy, this is a good score, especially for a batting lineup that wasn't very high on confidence with regards to the form of a lot of those players.
Can I say, I thought it was it's a very good score if you look at it now.
Yeah.
But I think if they looked at it at the end of the 16th over, they wouldn't have said it's a good score. Yeah. And the reason is, with that many batsmen in hand, Finch set, everyone set, Stoinis set, they ended up with just 45 of their last 5 overs, okay? 9 and over. Take away the last over. The last over went for 17 runs, which meant force over 16, 17, 18 and 19 has gone for just 28 runs, 7 and over. Yeah. Set batsmen in play, 7 and over against an Ireland attack, which while decent, very decent, Josh Little and all, is not threatening. But Dockrell and Joshua Little bowled beautifully in those last 5 overs. And I think Australia will look at themselves and say, in the 15th over, we thought we might be close to 200. They pegged us back maybe 10, 12 runs.
Yeah, that they have. And sometimes scorelines can be deceptive, Simon. And especially in this case as well, as Joy mentioned, it didn't, and you said this as well, that it didn't really seem easy. The scoreline might say that they've scored 179, 180 for Ireland to get, but it didn't seem like they were getting here not so long ago.
No, and that came, Joy, great point as well. That came on the back of, what were we thinking? There was 3 overs in a row that went for almost 50, I think between 11 and 15, weren't there? And then they slowed it up really well. There was that over of 26.
From Madrid.
And then I think an 11 and a 16 or a 15 or something like that. So, I think there's a really good point Joy makes about the fact that Ireland did a great job to pull back those 3-4 overs in the back 5. And they'll feel like they can chase this down. Don't worry, they've got some confidence, this Irish side. And we know, and we all have seen at different times, us that follow cricket around the world have seen Paul Stirling just turn it on. He's got an innings or 2 in him in a tournament. We've seen 1, and maybe we'll see another. He'll enjoy the pace and the bounce, I think, in this pitch as much as anyone.
Yeah, it might just be loading, but the one good thing for Australia, no matter how they came, the fact that those runs came for Aaron Finch. Now, he's been in the last game against Sri Lanka as well, Joy. I mean, he was out there, and you could see the agony. Sometimes when he missed that shot, he was looking at the heavens and saying, oh my God, why can't I time even one of these? Today, some of those came off, and that's good news.
Yeah, but exactly what I was saying, that even the worst innings when you play is fantastic as long as you have time in the middle, because you're actually getting match experience, which you cannot replicate. All the throwdowns, all the net practice doesn't get it for you. So that was a really vital innings. And again, he didn't look as if he was timing it very well, at least to start with. So what it means is when batsmen play themselves back into form, and he did seem quite a bit in form towards the end of his innings, it's great news for the team, because you've worked your way through your troubles. You didn't start off well and you're wondering what's happened. And I think that's great news for them, because Warner has obviously today it's one of those decisions, the ball could have gone, 2 feet this way, that way, that's gone. But, it happens. This is a tournament where the The rub of the luck is not his.
Yeah.
So Finchy doing well is really important to them. And I think he's just done fantastic today.
Yeah. What did you make of Finch's knock, Simon?
Yeah, it's still not at his fluent best, but it looked a lot better. It looked like he was actually timing the ball a bit better. The decisions he was making them early, looking for the slightly shorter side of the ground. The 6 down the ground off Dockrell late in the piece, got some timing back towards the end. There was some talk about a little injury. Maybe he was struggling a little bit, whether it was just tiredness, whether it was some cramp or something like that. So there'll be a little bit of a watch on Aaron Finch over the next couple of days. But they certainly needed him to sort of increase that strike rate and get the innings off to a good start. Yeah. With Warner not in form, he needs to be doing something. So, I thought it was very good. That partnership was crucial, wasn't it, with Marcus Stoinis at almost a strike rate of 200 through that partnership is exceptional. And it's kind of what took the game from, what looked like might have been a 150, 160 score through to that, what could have been a 200 score, and then Ireland pulled back a little bit at the back.
Yeah, and it was that kind of a bowling effort. I mean, in pockets, Ireland were just brilliant, especially, as Joy mentioned, McCarthy and Josh Little, both of them bowled really well, but then in pockets, they leaked so many runs that it kept oscillating, Joy. I'm saying sometimes it looked like it was going to 200, sometimes it...
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the problems with teams that come through, junior teams that come through to the main stages, that consistency is missing. That 26 over run over from Adair, for example, just gave away in the middle. Suddenly in the middle, as Simon was talking about, those 50 runs suddenly went so fast that before they knew it, they were suddenly behind the board. Yeah. I mean, at 78 in 10 overs, you say that, okay, that's a decent score. But after that, I mean, they allowed them to accelerate. Yeah. It was fantastic the way they fought back. Again, Dockrell, smart bowlers, Josh Little plays for the Manchester Originals, knows how to bowl in the death. And again, all these players are also giving an IPL trial. So they're all looking at them and they're saying, they're watching there in India. I've got Amul in my chest anyway. Indian sponsor. So, hey, why not? But I thought Josh Little was outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, as was Barry McCarthy. I mean, he seems to fit that mold, not only physically, Simon, of Shane Watson, but also the way he bowls, the way he commits himself in the field. We saw that one brilliant save from him. And today, again, with the ball, he was spectacular.
Yeah, put his body on the line on that save. It was incredible. I mean, if Ireland get there on the last ball, they can have him to thank for it. He saved 4 runs there. I think they ran 2, but it should easily or could easily have been a 6. Impressed with the way he hits the pitch. He summed up the situation quite well. It's the sort of surface that 1 or 2 bowlers, probably one of the seamers, can go for runs, and we saw that tonight with Adair. But the other 2, I thought Little was exceptional, as Joy said. McCarthy did a great job, hit the deck hard. Fian Hand, just the 1 over, went for 15, I think, in that 1 over. So a little bit of a comeback down to earth, isn't it, after that Stokes delivery the other night? But we have a saying. It's a very quick trip from the penthouse to the out. That's pretty much what happened to Fian Hand tonight.
It's a good one, brilliant.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
But that's the sort of thing that can happen in this T20 game as well.
Yeah, which is why I set up my furniture in the outhouse only. Yeah, you go up to the penthouse. But it's 180 for Ireland to get. Let's have a look at their batting order. As Simon has already said, you can't count them out. Australia, if they have to get the better of the net run rate from England, they have to bowl them out for 104. Paul Sterling, Andy Balbirnie, Lachlan Tucker, they've got the goods in their batting and they'd be itching to go, Joy.
This is a good batting side, and as I said, that Tucker's got runs, Balbirnie's got runs, Sterling's always got runs in him, and Trechter's not yet got going. If you asked them before the tournament who they thought their most promising bat was, it was Harry Trechter. So somewhere they're hoping he gets going, and I think Australia shouldn't be looking at 104 or anything because it's very difficult. Plus, you have one more match to look at run rate and all that. I think you should just look at winning the game. If you have them under a bit of pressure, take a few wickets, then see where it goes. I mean, just trying to predict saying I'm going to play the 100 game early is a very dangerous thing under these circumstances.
Especially, Simon, now that you tell us that tomorrow's game can be a washout.
Oh gosh, I'm keeping my eye on the weather. So the forecast is sort of saying that it like really heavy thunderstorms, rain, torrential rain until around about 3 o'clock at the moment.
All right.
That's now this is not always 100% accurate. I mean, sometimes you could put your hand in a jar and just pick out something on a bit of paper. That might be about as accurate as the weather. But it's sort of, they're not often wrong with these sort of thunderstorms, these tropical storms that Brisbane do get. So if it rained as it's supposed to, I would imagine they could possibly the first game could be rained out. But the ground does dry and drain so well. And they've got very good covers, super soppers, everything around. So, look, there's a chance if it rained until 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow that the evening game could still go ahead. I wouldn't discount that as yet. But, look, I agree. Australia don't want to be looking at that net run rate just now, because then they might go searching. As a bowling unit, you go searching and you can fetch. You can get hurt. As a batting unit, batting second, you can then chase the run rate. But tonight's not that night. Just go about the business and get the win. Worry about the net run rate in the last game.
All right, then. Defending champion, how many are Ireland getting inside the power play?
I think this Irish team, it's a decent Irish team, but this is too good a bowling attack. If Australia bowl to plan, I'll go for 37 and 6.
37 for no loss?
No, I don't predict wickets.
Okay, you don't predict wickets. Okay.
Why should I
increase
my chances?
What about you, Simon?
His name is Bhattacharjya, not Nostradamus.
That's a good one.
Look, I think they need probably, if they're going to chase this down, they need 47.
All right. I'll slot myself in between the two of you, because the last time I went on either sides, you know what happened. So I'll say 42. That's my prediction. But that's also all the time we have on Cricbuzz Live. Big thank you to Simon Doull. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya. Big thank you to all of you as well. We'll see you at the end of 10 overs with Cricbuzz Combox. This was Cricbuzz Live. Thank you so much for watching.